Hey, welcome to Pokédex, the channel where I build decks for the Pokemon trading card game. We're still going to be looking today at cards from Fates Collide, and we're still going to be looking at fighting types. As I mentioned in my last video, there's a lot of fighting type support, and there's a lot of different ways that we can build our deck. So my last video did feature Regirock EX. It's a very good Pokemon that just increases the damage that we do with our fighting types, so it makes it possible for our fighting decks to become just awesome in the damage output that they dish out every single turn. And this is another way to build a deck, I think, and we're going to try to power up Medicham with Regirock EX. If you guys don't know what Medicham does, Yoga Kick for a couple of energy does 30 damage. The deck's damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance, but because there's so many different ways that we can increase the damage that we deal with this guy, like there's strong energy, as you guys already know, there's muscle bands, there's Regirock that I just mentioned. We can just deal so much damage with Medicham. And if we double that damage because of the ancient trait Omega Barrage that we have on Medicham, we can attack twice in the same turn. So it's kind of like we're always eating for weakness, right? We're always eating for double the damage. And actually it's even better because if we actually end up knocking out the opponent's Pokemon in our first attack, we can actually deal the second attack to another Pokemon, another one of his Pokemon. So it's not that bad against non-EX decks, and against the EX decks, if we start hitting those magic 90 HP, because we attack twice, we can just kill them on a single turn. So it's essentially a 1-hit KO with Medicham. That's what we are going for with this build. So we're playing a 4-4 Medicham line and 4 Regirock EX. Going to try to fill the bench with these guys. Once again, I'm not playing any Shaman EX in here, and I still think that the support for the fighting types is so good that we don't really need it. If you want to see a fighting type deck with Shaman EX, stay tuned, because I think my next one will play Shaman. I'm still not sure, I'm still testing it out, but yeah, that's going to be up next video. So this time, no Shaman EX. What we do have in here is a 2-2 Carbink break line. We're playing the Safeguard Carbink, not the one that protects the energy. I don't think it's that important in this deck, and having the Safeguard every time is better, I think. This guy not only has Safeguard, but Diamond Gift, as you guys know, is a super good attack for just a single energy. Helps us recharge 2 energy from the discard pile to our fighting type Pokemon. I'm only playing a 2-2 line. Well, first of all, because the Medicham line already occupies a lot of space from the deck, and also, this isn't really our primary target, contrary to what it may be in other fighting type decks. This one is just here for, I don't know, after we attack with our first Medicham and it gets knocked out, we just use this guy to charge up a second one. So it's kind of like a mid to late game thing that we have in here. We also have a single Lucha. It retreats for free. You can get it with Corina, and it's very good at hitting EX Pokemon, and it's very good at knocking out Shaman. That's why I think it's still worth it to play a single Lucha. It's a very good Pokemon for those reasons. That's all the Pokemon that we have in here, and that's actually a lot of them. It's 17 Pokemon. A lot of them are evolutions, but we start looking into the items now, and we start by looking at Echo Arm, I guess. It's the first one in here. Yeah, we are playing one Echo Arm, and our tools, we can look at them now, I think. We have 2 Floatstone, because we need to retreat from our big guys, from our Regirock, and sometimes from Carbink without discarding energy. It happens to me a lot. I don't want to discard that energy, so I just stick the Floatstone in there. And then we have 2 Focus Sash. I was playing 3, but I cut 1 for the Echo Arm. I think it's cool this way. We actually don't need Focus Sash that much. I mean, if we're playing against something like Night March, we would be knocking their attackers out anyways, and we just want to protect our guys because they're stage 1s. Yeah, I think Focus Sash is better, but most of the times, Focus Sash is just like, you play this once and you evade one of their knockouts, and that's enough for the prize exchange to be favorable for you. So, and there's a lot of ways that the opponent can get around Focus Sash. So I've been quite happy that I cut 1. What I really like instead of Focus Sash is Muscle Band, especially in those turns where you stick a Focus Sash in there. The opponent deals a lot of damage to your guy so that the Focus Sash falls off, and then you just put the Muscle Band in there and you attack for a lot of damage. So not only did you evade the KO, you also are able to play Muscle Band the following turn, and a lot of times this is it's actually better to play the Muscle Band instead of the Focus Sash, because we can actually, with the damage from the Muscle Band, remember this is 20 damage, but if it's on the Medicham, it's essentially 40 damage, 40 extra damage that we're dealing every single turn. So it's super good. We knock out their Pokemon and we put our opponent on the back foot, so they kind of have to lose a turn or two to play energy on the bench, and we can Lysander out their guys and stuff like that. So having Muscle Band most of the times is better than Focus Sash, just because the amount of damage that we dish out is huge with this deck, and it's very important since we are not playing fighting stadiums in here, and we'll get to that in a second. I'm playing one Professor's Ladder. We can grab this with Corina. It works really nicely in that way. And then we have two Random Receiver. I already talked about Random Receiver in my last deck. I urge you guys to see that video if you haven't already. And the reason for Random Receiver, I think it works wonderfully with Corina. Previously I had Trainer's Mail in Corina decks because sometimes you want to play Corina and grab another supporter, a different supporter, and Trainer's Mail was kind of a way that we could play, kind of a card that we could play and try to find a Sycamore. Sometimes Corina is not enough. Usually back in the days we could Corina for a computer search, right? But now since we can't, I mean, we can use Random Receiver. Sometimes we will end up hitting another Corina, and sometimes we will be end up eating a Lysander, which sucks when we really need an N or a Sycamore. But yeah, it's the best card that we have in here for that purpose. So I think it's worth it to play too. It combines really well with Corina, you'll find out. One Starling Megaphone, sometimes a crucial card that we use out of Corina to get rid of tools from our opponent, Spirit Links, stuff like that. One Super Rod, I think it's the better card to shuffle stuff back. Sometimes we do want to shuffle energy even though we have the carvings in here. One Ultra Ball, it allows us to do a couple of different things. One of them is discard cards from our hand, another one is get the second Pokemon off of Corina. Sometimes that does happen, especially in this stage 1 deck. That doesn't happen that much in my previous deck that I showed you guys, because there's basically we attack with basics, but this one, because we are attacking with Medichams, I think it's the Ultra Ball actually is better. I'm not playing Level Ball because I want to get the Regirock, and sometimes I want to get the Carbinks, so because of that, if we ever need to get a combination of those, the Level Ball wouldn't be enough off of Corina, so I'm actually playing the Ultra Ball. And plus, Ultra Ball allows you to discard energy also, so I think that's super nice here. We have 4 via Seeker and 4 Corina, and 2 Lysander out there, guys, of course. 3 N, super good card, wins us a lot of games, but only 3 because we want to take the offensive really as soon as we can. 4 Professor Sycamore because it's the best card draw supporter, as you guys know. And our stadium is actually Shrine of Memories. One of the issues with this deck, because it's a stage 1 deck, we have to build a stage 1, that's already bad, and the other issue is that this guy, Medicham, actually attacks for 2 energy. And sometimes, especially against quick decks like Night March, we can't use Yoga Kick that quickly. So I think having the stadium around is better because it allows us to essentially use the Meditite's attack, which hits for 20 for a single energy. It's not that bad actually. With a fighting energy, with a strong energy and the muscle band, that's still 40 damage. That's still 60 damage, sorry. And we can actually use the Omega Barrage and attack twice, even though we were using the previous evolution's attacks. So it can actually hit for a lot of damage. Plus, if we ever need to hit for weakness, because the Medicham's Yogi Kick doesn't, this guy allows us to do just that. So it's sometimes it's better that way, and we still end up adding the damage from Regirock and all that. So it's very good to have, I think, Shrine of Memories. I'd love to play Fighting Stadium, but I think this is the better stadium for this deck after having played out a lot of games with it. As far as energy goes, we're playing 9. I think it's a sweet spot. We have a lot of basics that we can discard and grab with the Professor's Ladder, but we also have fighting energy. And remember, Carbink brings any energy back as long as it's onto a fighting Pokemon, so we actually can accelerate some fighting energy into our guys. So we're playing 9, so 4 fighting and 5 basics because we cannot play more strong energy. Sorry, it's the other. I keep calling strong energy fighting. It's 4 strong energy and 5 basic fighting. I wish I could play more strong energy, but unfortunately we can't. But yeah, I think it's fine this way. So that's the deck. Let's go play it out and see how we fare. Okay, we're starting our match against a fire type deck. We don't see any colorless indicators in there, so it kind of means that our opponent is not playing Shaymin, which is, I guess, good news for us, because most fire decks nowadays play Shaymin just to replace the draw supporters because they want to be playing blacksmiths over and over again. Maybe my opponent is playing some sort of brew, but usually fire decks based around Entei and such want to accelerate energy really quickly, so I don't really know what to expect. Our opponent is taking some time to press the done button. I guess sometimes I do too, because I don't realize I have to press a button. Yeah, okay, so now we can take our mulligan, I guess. And we start off with a Meditite. And we don't have supporters in our hand. That's kind of scary. We might get knocked out here if our opponent is indeed playing a very quick deck. I mean, we do have the Focus Sash, but I'd love to just get a Corina in here. Okay, we drew a Regirock, and our opponent is in fact playing the Flareon EX. So I'm going to put the Focus Sash down. I'm going to play the Energy. And I'm going to play the Professor's Letter, because I want to take the most cards that I can out of my deck. Just so that we increase the chances that we draw a supporter. And I'm going to put the Regirock down, and I'm going to pass the turn. There could be a chance that our opponent played N, and it would be better to just drop the Shrine of Memories, but actually I want to increase the probabilities that our opponent would play an N on us, and I think it's more likely, if it's between, I don't know, a Sycamore and an N, and he has some cards in his hand that doesn't want to discard, I guess it's tempting for my opponent to play the N, but if we're really low on cards, I guess it's more tempting to just play the Sycamore and just don't give your opponent cards. But because we're at 5 cards, it's just, you don't care too much, because you're just giving 1 card to your opponent, so you don't care that much. I don't know, I'm just I'm just considering all the possibilities here, and N does in fact make us play a little bit differently. So we see a random receiver, and we see a Birch, and we see another random receiver. So this time a Blacksmith goes to our opponent's hand, which I guess he already discarded energy. Yeah, so he's using the Blacksmith, and we would in fact get knocked out from our Meditite. Good news for us is that our opponent played the Stadium, the Scorched Earth, so we can use it ourselves to discard some fighting energy. Wow, we drew like one of the worst cards possible. So let's see if we draw. Okay, we got a Corina, which is great. Yeah, we drew the second Carbink, which means that if we draw a Sycamore, we would get rid of those. But I'm going to play the Corina, so maybe I'll just grab a Carbink in here, just so that I at least play this one of these breaks, I guess. And we can also, I don't know, we can either grab the Ultra Ball. I think it's better, just because this way we can actually attack this turn with our Medicham. Our opponent will knock it out, but we can Corina again next turn, and I think my opponent is going to have a little bit of trouble dealing with his Carbink, so I'm just going to discard one of the breaks, and I guess the Shrine of Memories is the worst card here. It's arguable, but yeah, I'm just going for the Medicham. Maybe I shouldn't have discarded that. Maybe I should have just gone for the Muscle Band, because now I will need to draw an energy. I mean, we will play a Corina, so yeah, Yoga Kick. We're dealing the most damage possible, so it's 60 plus another 60, it's 120. So if we find an energy, we're dealing 20 and plus. Oh yeah, we already played the Professor's Letter. I forgot about that. So we cannot Corina for an energy. So maybe it was wrong. Maybe I should have just discarded the Muscle Band. Just use the first attack, so it would be dealing 60, I guess. But we would be losing our Medicham. Maybe I just should have just retreated and played an energy on the Carbink, because my opponent, yeah, is going to have a little bit of trouble, I think, dealing with this Carbink break, because he still doesn't have his Entei ready. Okay, we'll see how we do, but yeah, maybe I'm kind of maybe shouldn't have played the way we did. So I'm just going to play the Corina, and I'm going to grab, I guess I think I'm going for the Regirock, because I'm going to try to find a Sycamore here with the random receiver. Hopefully we do, and we see a Sycamore. Yay, that's very good. Exactly the card that I wanted. An N would also be fine, I guess. And I'm not going to put the Meditite down, I think, yeah, because we won't be charging up energy in there anyways. So we will take a couple of turns after we find the energy anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we play it down or not. I just want to avoid my opponent Lysandering it out and killing it, because it's going to be definitely our best attacker against this deck. Flareon EX doesn't really deal well with Carbink Break, but after he gets his Entei going, is just going to destroy a Carbink break in a single hit. So he plays an energy there, maybe a Blacksmith. Okay, so we see a Lysander for the Regirock, so I'm really glad that I didn't play the Meditite. I don't care about Regirock getting damage on it, because we can just find the we see another random receiver. I'm going to play the Meditite for sure, and we don't have any Lysanders down, so maybe we find one with this, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we found the Sycamore, which is like the worst case scenario, because any other thing that we would be discarding could be a Seeker for later, but it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just going to discard an energy here. Maybe we find a Floatstone. No Floatstones, okay. So, yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard. Do I play an energy? I think I do. I don't think I'm too scared about my opponent removing our energy. And we could play the Super Rod later to shuffle some energy back, actually. But yeah, I'm just going to pass the turn here. So my opponent is going to kill our Regirock. And that's actually not that bad, because next turn we will be attacking with that Carbink and dealing 40 damage. So it's possible that we even get to knock out this dude. And because he's going down to 3 prizes, we're going to end him. And I think it's going to be great for us, because we're drawing 6 and our opponent is going down to 3, and then we potentially even knock out his Flareon. We need to find... Oh no, yeah, we were killing it. I forgot about the Regirock. I was thinking that we needed to find the Muscle Band, but we don't. Because with the Regirock that we have in play and the one that we're going to be playing, it's going to be enough. So, and we found the Shrine of Memories, which I'm actually going to put down. Because it will prevent our opponent from even trading energy from his hand. Yeah, I think I'm going to shuffle both, and I guess the Regirock, I don't think I will need any more attackers, so I'd rather just have the increment there. Yeah, I'm going to put this thing here, because with an N, if my opponent actually drew an energy, he could exchange it for more cards, so this way he can't unless he also finds a stadium. So we're kind of making it a little bit harder for him. And we're going to just knock out this dude. And we even find this thing. So this guy, this Carbink, is potentially even going to... Okay, so I'm going to put the energy... I guess I'm putting on the Medicham. And I'm going to charge up the Meditite. This is, I think, a very good turn for us. And just makes it so that we have just these wonderful turns. You kind of have to readjust the way you play, I think. Okay. Decent end, and our opponent is, unless he has the Xerosic or the Starling Megaphone, he's not killing this Carbink break this turn, which is kind of insane, actually. I mean, we still get to survive. The reason why I went for the Meditite there with the double energy is that I want to be attacking with this Medicham like really soon, next turn potentially, and I want to find the strong energy for it. And Meditite, and this way, if the opponent has a Lysander, he had to choose between the one that has a stage 1 on it and the one that has the energy. So we kind of split those things between our guys. So we're playing the Floatstone. My opponent has a Breaksin down, so I think I'm going to play the Sycamore. Yeah, I think I just want to draw an energy here, and this is the best way to do so. And we did find the best energy possible, which is a strong. So yeah, I think, so let's see, 1 2 3 5 6 7. Yeah, that thing is dead. Our opponent chose to use the second attack instead of the first, just to get rid of that of the Focus Sash. I guess he did, but then we were able to play the Floatstone in that guy and just take a knockout there really nicely. If he had used the first attack, it would cause us a lot of trouble, because it would prevent 30 damage on each of our hits, so it would only be 100 damage if I'm counting right. And this way, oh, we played a very powerful card, so it's the Delphox that draws you cards, which is, I guess, bonkers. And he also has the VS Secret for the Blacksmith, so insane turn for our opponent here. He just, the thing that he has in his bench, like that Mystical Fire, is just going to be insane for him, because he's basically is protected against 10 for the rest of the game. So I guess that's the reason why he doesn't play Shaymin EX in his deck. So I'm going to promote this dude. Let's see here. I think I'm going to play Corina. I don't want to discard like all the cards that I have in my hand, so I'm just going for the Medicham. We still have another one down in there, so it's cool. And I guess I'll take the Muscle Band. And right now, I don't even know what I do. Maybe I just put this Meditite down and I'm going to charge it up, saving this thing in my hand. Yeah, we have the Corina next turn, so I'm putting this guy over here. And then, yeah, because I'm getting a strong energy, right, from the discard pile. So if I put the Medicham with a strong energy, it would be a no-brainer for my opponent. Would he have the Lysander in hand? So we kind of want to make it as hard as possible. So this way, if he kills the guy with a Meditite with a strong energy, we can even break again, or even... Yeah, he has the Lysander. Oh, he's going for the Regirock. That's kind of... It's weird. We have a Floatstone in the deck, I think. Still have one. If we do, I think he's in trouble, because we're going to get to kill that guy. So... get the Lysander, which I don't think I play right now, so I'm just going for the Corina, I think. And I want to retreat. I want to make sure that we draw that Floatstone. I just hope it's in my deck, as I didn't check, so I'm just getting... Yeah, it's there. Perfect. Okay, so Medicham and Floatstone. And we're playing this thing over there. Playing this Medicham down. Just going to retreat into that guy. Is the Muscle Band? Okay, so this guy is 100, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With a Muscle Band it's 80. So it doesn't... Oh, actually... Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, no, I forgot I had a strong energy. What the hell am I saying? So we definitely play the Muscle Band, because we are killing his dude with the first attack. So we can actually hit on the second attack, which is awesome for us as well. And we find the strong energy too, so yeah, he's in a little bit of trouble, I think. I don't think he has a way to kill us, because he has to find... Well, he can kill the Medicham that we have in front with a Flareon, but if he does, we're just killing the Flareon. He can also retreat and use the other guy, but it's the same amount of energy to attack. I think it does the same amount of damage, but it doesn't really matter because we are only at one prize. We would have to deal 140 instead of 170, but I think with a Medicham, 1, 2, 3, 80, yeah, with a strong energy that we have in hand, unless my opponent ends, we are good to go. So not even a... Well, I guess he can... I guess... No, he can't. I was going to say he can Lysander out the Regirock and kill it with a Flareon, but he needs the... Okay, so he chooses to play a Birch, so all of that doesn't matter anymore. I mean, what I was going to say is, if my opponent could actually play a Lysander and Lysander out the Regirock, but then he wouldn't play the Blacksmith to be able to charge up his attacker. So we kind of needed to play two supporters on the same turn, and that's not going to happen, so... I guess that's that. I think this is a game. I'm really trying to think of ways that our opponent could use here to kill us, and I can't come up with any. So I just think this is going to be game. Yeah, my opponent concedes. We are victorious, and Medicham. Yeah, we dealt a lot of damage really nicely there. We kind of started awkwardly with our very awkward starting hand with no supporter and actually 2 breaks, but we managed to get out of there and just put our opponent in a very, very tough position. Tell me what you guys think about this deck. I think it's a nice way to play this. I still think it's kind of like one of the not the best way that we can build a fighting deck. I think it's just better to play basics, but because this is a stage 1, but we are only giving away 1 prize and we're dealing massive amounts of damage, so at least it's quite a fun deck and it's cheaper than getting all the Zygardes if you guys have budget problems. So yeah, that's the deck. Tell me what you think as usual in the comment section below, and I guess I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.